Today we're making Safran and Scampi pasta with rosé pepper and pecorino. And this dish clocks in at 574 calories per portion, 31 grams of proteins, 73 grams of carbs, and 17 grams of fat. This recipe is for 2 portions. We're gonna measure out 20 grams of butter, and then we're gonna cut the end of a leek, and we're gonna add roughly 40 grams of our leek, and we're gonna make sure that that's washed and there's no dirt inside. So we're gonna wash that. And then we're going to cut our leek. We don't need to cut it super fine or anything. A rough cut is fine. After that we're going to bring some water to a boil, and then we're going to start peeling our scampi. And to do that, we're gonna remove the head, remove the tail, and then we're gonna remove the legs and also that hard shell. And what we don't want to miss here is we want to remove the guts as well. So we're gonna cut that with a knife and make sure that we remove the digestion tract. And if you don't manage to remove all of them with a clean pull, you can always just rinse that in some water. Then we're gonna grate up 40 grams of Pecorino Romano. However, if you're familiar with the cheeses, you might see that I'm using Grana Padano here, and that works fine as well. You can probably use Parmesan cheese as well. I went with what I got at home. After that, we're gonna add our 20 grams of butter to our frying pan. And if you've seen my other videos, I usually don't use that much butter in cooking, but here we're using our butter to emulsify our sauce later. So we actually need it. And then we're gonna salt our pasta water and simply add our leek and let that fry for a couple of minutes. After that we're going to add our pasta, and it's 200 grams. I usually go for 100 grams of a portion. If you want less, you can just go in the spreadsheet that's linked in the description and change your serving size, and the macros will follow. Then you need 1 to 2 grams of rosé pepper. I usually go for roughly 1 or 1.5, but 1 to 2 grams depends on how much of that flavor you want. And after our leek has been frying away for a while and just starting to develop some color, we're gonna add 2 ladles of pasta water and half a gram of saffron and also our rosé pepper. And then we're just gonna mix that all together and let that boil for a bit. And if your water boils away, you can always add some more. I'm also gonna chop up a little bit of a spring onion just to use as garnish later on. That means it's time for us to start frying our scampi, and I used some pasta water to check if the pan was hot enough, and it was not. You want those water droplets to roll on your frying pan. So once they did, we can just fry our scampi, and I'm aiming for roughly 90 seconds per side here, so they cook fairly fast. We're gonna do that in 2 batches since I couldn't fit a bigger frying pan. When our pasta is done, we're just gonna add that to our frying pan and also add some more water if needed. And then go in for our second batch of scampi if you have a small pan like I do. So we're gonna stir our pasta together. And as you can see here, we still have a lot of water, so we're gonna boil that down a bit, because if we have that much water we are not gonna get a nice sauce, we're just gonna get runny pasta. So our scampis are done, and that means that we have some burned scampi bits on the bottom of our pan, and I like to incorporate that as well, and this also makes it much easier to do the washing up later on. So we're just gonna deglaze that with some pasta water as well, and simply add that to our dish so we don't lose out on any flavors. So once we have roughly this much water, a lot less than we had before, that means that we're basically done. But we want to remove that from the heat for 1 to 2 minutes before we add our cheese, in order for that not to become super stringy. And once it's been resting for 1 to 2 minutes, we just need to add our cheese and simply stir that together until a nice cheesy sauce. And if your cheese clumps up, you can always just add some more pasta water and stir that together and slowly boil that off later on. So we're just gonna plate this, as I said, 2 portions. And just add your sauce remaining in the pan. And plating is not my strong suit, but I think this looks fine. So we're gonna add some of our spring onions to give that a little bit of color. And that's it. And if you want, you can also add some pecorino or grana padano or parmesan at the end and just grate it over. I hope you try this, I really like it, and it's fairly low on calories, so I hope you try it and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.